Welcome back to the GRA television show. We're back for episode 2 after a long, excuse my mistake there, amount of months. Levi Smothers, we're back up here, and it's a new apartment complex. So how are you feeling today?
Yes, sir. We've been gone for a while, but we're back and we're gonna give you a rundown of how this season been going.
Yeah, we've came very long in this season. Uh, a lot of breakout drivers. We weren't expecting the rookies to be this good and the activity to be this good. The last time we talked was before Bowman Gray, and it's all crazy. We got Sonic Racing in the building. That's been one of the best rookie teams, along with Sky Motorsports and others. And Connor Woods coming after no win season 5, going back to season 6, and Crimson still in the struggle. Well, we only have 2 races remaining in the playoffs. It's Watkins Glen and Charlotte Roval, and we're going to give you the breakdown of everything to come in these next 2 weeks of racing here in GRA. So Levi, we just came from Pocono, and there's still one playoff spot remaining in the Cup Series, and it's going to come down to, this point situation. Say 2 new winners that are full-time drivers get in. It's going to kick Vaughn out of the playoffs, and potentially Cody, if he ain't one of those new winners. So, Levi, let's say if you were one of those drivers that needed a must-win, and you weren't that good at Watkins Glen or the Roval, what is your game plan? I mean, everyone's in a must-win situation, so what is your game plan?
For like the Roval and stuff like that, the forecast for the Glen, as we've heard a lot of drivers talking about it this week, is they're saying that it's going to be kind of really rainy. So, you know, really you just kind of keep your car out of trouble if you're not that good. Try to get as many points as you can, even though it's a must-win situation. Just try to be there at the end, because if you can't even make it to the finish, you don't got a shot at the win. So
Yeah, and, Cody, Cody, Connor Woods, and Carter McMillan still all in the fight for the regular season championship. If Cody wins it and he doesn't make the playoffs, he don't get no type of reward. I mean, it's usually 25 playoff points, and that could go a long way entering Darlington and Daytona. Um, we didn't know how you do at Darlington, because that's the first race of the playoffs. You weren't there earlier this season. Anything you want to say about that?
yeah, I have a Southern 500 win under my belt back in like season 2, I think. But other than that, we've been kind of consistent, kind of top 5 at Darlington, but never the leading car. So kind of accumulate some points at Darlington and just hope to survive at Daytona, because Daytona is so unpredictable.
Yeah, and they say it for a reason. Daytona nowadays is off luck. So, I mean, let's say, Connor Woods, he doesn't do good at Darlington. He's going to have to come down to Daytona. And with a 10 driver playoff format, which right now 9 drivers are locked in, that's consisting of Connor Woods, Carter McMillan, Levi Smothers, Tristan Mendoza, Nicholas, Jaden, Odin Earnhardt, Lance, and the only point spot remaining, Cody John, who is right now over Smothers family racing driver Crimson, who's been in the struggle ever since his Atlanta Cup win last season. He is under by 238 points, and the max you can get in the race is 140. So if you were Crimson, which is kind of related to the question I asked you earlier, Crimson, he's just had a big struggle, and he's already announced an announcement for later this year, which I'm just going to guess it might be maybe a team swap or even retirement. We don't know. But if you were Crimson, who's made every Cup playoffs since he was the Ghost Energy Cup Series champion, what are you gonna do?
Probably just let him buy, because I'm already locked in, and it'd be nice to have both of the SFR cars, or two of the three SFR cars actually, in the playoffs. Even though Crimson isn't really gonna probably do anything in the playoffs because he's been really struggling this season. But if you make the playoffs, you get a bigger paycheck. So, and yeah, like you were talking about, it's already kind of been leaked around that Crimson's probably going to be retiring, and just going to go ahead and say it right now. Me and him had a talk earlier this week, and he said he's officially calling it quits. So.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry if I didn't, but Von Smith is also in the playoffs. Speaking of Von Smith and Sonic Racing, a very late deciding team to join the Cup Series, and right now they have a total of 4 wins. I'm pretty sure 5 actually. Yeah, 5. Vaughn having 3 of those wins. Just really good from that driver. He didn't have it too good at Pocono. He actually went up and over on lap 8 of the race in stage 1. And a lot of these drivers, which we need to talk about, even though it's been weeks since this happened, the Brickyard 400 wreck that the number 56 for Viper Motorsports Lance had going up and over like that. That's something no car should do. And then we just had another flip at Pocono. No flips at Texas, which is good. Nashville, we've been all right. But it's starting to get more dangerous and dangerous. GRA officials already announced that they're, quote unquote, nerfing the cars for Daytona just to make sure these cars stay on the ground. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, always safety is a, top priority of really anything, but, especially when, you're racing in kind of motorsports that kind of comes with the territory. And, these drivers know that once you strap in the car, there's a possibility that you're not coming back. So, yeah, just gotta look out for the drivers and really the whole sport in general. Um, don't want to see nobody get hurt or anything out on the track, but want to make it safe and competitive for everyone. So
Yeah. It is, what we do need in these cars. It needs to be safe. Even though the fans, you want them to go fast, you might want to see the wrecks, but these drivers' lives are on the line inside of these cars. A couple weeks ago in December, even in the, lower, not so fast cars, we just had a modified flip. That was Ryder. He's a rookie. And race in the Snowball Derby, which Snowball Derby had a new record of attendance in GRA history of 28 people in the game at once. Congrats to GRA and community for that. But, there's got to be a change in these cars. Yeah, I get the modifieds. They're open wheel. But late models, they weren't open wheel. Race almost barrel rolled on the front stretch at 5 flags. That's not safe. It's really not. And we just need officials to do something about it. Who went later on winning that race back-to-back years, Carter McMillan. He is not in the building with us today. Potentially on the next episode. As we'll see about that. In the other news, we're going to London, and Monza, 2 overseas tracks for season 7, and a brand new track, Oklahoma Speedway. You're the main owner of that. Any hints you want to give us for the GRA community?
let's just say it's going to be a new product, and should be exciting.
All right. Well, right now that's all I got to say. Anything else you want to bring up real quick?
like I want to go back to how you're talking about earlier with the cars and the safety aspect of it. You were talking about we saw almost a few cars like barrel roll down the front stretch at Five Flags, but we did see a few cars go over during the heats and the LCQ. Um, it's those new kind of unexperienced drivers, but still, at some point you got to draw the line for the safety part of it and um when to get them on and off the track because at that point they're causing a hazard and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think we can wrap it up on that part. Playoff otherwise, for the round of 10, we had the Darlington and then Daytona. Round of 7, Mexico City and Kern Raceway, and then we go to Phoenix for the round of 4. All drivers still in contention for the D1 playoffs. That will conclude of Crimson, Manny, Cody, Zayden Hesselberg, Crypto, Corpse, Harry Ponder, Manny, and a couple other drivers still fighting to get their final spot in. But we can go over to the Busch Light series. Levi Smothers, which is you. Crimson, he has a win in this series. Carter McMillan, so does Cardinal Woods and Odin Earnhardt. CJ, he was kind of not like a good prospect of a rookie last season, and then he's kind of like falling off for this season. He's just got to improve before we get into these playoffs. Next, he actually won once instead of lucking his way through the playoffs and then winning the championship like the season 5 year. Next, and Cody John are all current playoff drivers as we head to Watkins Glen and Charlotte Roval. And like you said earlier, it's gonna rain. GRA's already confirmed it's gonna rain for basically the whole week. I'm pretty sure it's raining out there right now. Don't know. I'm not too good with science and that weather stuff, so I can't really tell you the cause. But we haven't had a rain race this season. We saw a lot of rain races last year. This season, a complete different story. This is gonna be our first rain race of the year, and the cars are gonna get looser. Gas is probably gonna run longer, since you're not going as fast as you would without the rain. But I don't know. Carter McMillan, he basically almost swept the weekend, finished D2 in the Busch Light Series, and won the Indianapolis 500 Cup race at Watkins Glen and the truck race there. He's also had some issues earlier this year. He came off with almost 10, maybe even more, 10 wins last year, combined with all seasons, series, and now only has a total of 3 across D1 and D2. As I'm correct, I know he has 1 in the Ghost Energy Cup Series and at least 2 in the Busch Light Series. And there's new drivers. Well, they had to put a new driver in for WFR for the Busch Light Series earlier this year, that being Ryder. And then actually a good buddy of Carter, Lance, joining in for WFR, coming from Viper Motorsports. And a lot of drivers plan to go to different teams. And you Viper Motorsports and WFR, top 3 most running teams in GRA history. And you just announced a manufacturer change. Anything you want to say about that and how y'all gonna go from being Chevrolet for many years to now Toyota?
Yeah, as you know, SFR kind of started off as, I wouldn't say the most dominant team, but we were like one of the top teams in GRA in the Cup Series, and we wound up winning the first 2 championships ever of the series. And then after kind of season 2, we went into season 3, and we didn't fall off that much, but we fell off a little bit. And then season 4, season 5 was just kind of disastrous. And season 6 has been a little bit better, but I decided that we needed to make some sort of change because I didn't think Chevy was cutting it anymore. So we moved to Toyota.
Yeah, and 2 new teams joined the grid. Well, really, 2 new teams and manufacturers. That's going to be Honda for the Cup Series. Everyone's really excited about that. We stick with 3 for Busch Light, but we'll have a total of 5 manufacturers for the Cup Series starting in 2026. And a couple weeks now, we'll be back in Kern Raceway for the first time since season 4. Instead of going to Martinsville for the final race to round of 7. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, not really.
Well, folks, that'll about do it. Make sure to check out NASCAR Untamed 26 if you want, to mess around for a league game. We'll catch you after Watkins Glen next week. We'll get full race updates and points here on the GRA Talk Show. And that will do it. We'll see y'all. Well, like I just said, we'll see y'all next week. Stay tuned. Stay on with the social media. And goodbye and good night from North Carolina.